So, welcome back to Grania's Kitchen. It is day 4 of the on-plan dinner party, and I'm joined here by the beautiful Sarah, and Sarah is taking care of the fish course. So I am so excited to eat this, and over to you, beautiful Sarah.
Thank you very, very much. Well, I'm excited to share this dish. It is citrus salmon. And it is something that is brilliant for a dinner party because you can make it fancy. It's also something you can make for the family any day of the week, and I'll kind of talk you through that as we go. The first thing we need to do is make a marinade for the salmon. And when you're planning for this, you need to give yourself an hour to marinate the salmon. So what we need is soy sauce, balsamic vinegar, honey, and we're going to get lime zest and lime juice all into this saucepan in order to just let it cook through, let the flavours mix together before we introduce them all to get the marinade together. I'm just going to pop everything in the saucepan. I'm going to measure out 2 tablespoons of runny honey. So remember keeping it level so that you know what you're doing there, so that all the flavours come together as they should. And for the soy sauce, you're adding 6 tablespoons. So here we go with the first. It flies out, or at least it can do, so take care with that. And you want a full 6 of these as you go. And then it's 2 tablespoons of the balsamic vinegar into the marinade saucepan as well. So just there. And then we're going to pop the zest and juice of 2 limes in with what we've already got in the saucepan here. So we'll just break that down and pop the juice straight in with both limes. So I'm just going to pop this all on a low heat. If I can work out Grania's hob here. There we go. I think that's right. If you start seeing smoke, don't panic, Grania's right there. She'll rescue me. So I'm just going to let this warm gently. I'm going to add in spring onions while it's heating up. So I'm just going to pop in 2 of these and let them get slightly softer in the marinade as it warms up. So just pop in the scallions there, let the whole thing warm through. You can see steam is rising, it's warming through nicely, and that, once it's ready, needs to be left to cool. So I'll just take it off the heat and let it cool. Now, because I decided not to make this video more than an hour long, I have actually done this earlier, and let me just show you now the salmon in the marinade, which has been sitting for an hour. So here is the salmon that has been marinating for actually a good bit over an hour, but certainly at least an hour. And I'm just going to try, because I need to use this marinade in a bit, I'm going to thicken it up to have a bit of a sauce. I need to take the salmon out and put it in this dish to go in the oven. So I'll just lift it out carefully and pop them on the baking tray there. And then they're going to go in the oven at 220, 200 for a fan, or gas mark 7 if you have a gas oven. So I'll just get those ready to pop in there, and then I'll show you what happens next. So while the salmon is in the oven, I'm going to get the other bits ready. I'm serving it with rice noodles and stir-fry veg. Now, because it's a dinner party, I've chopped the veg nicely, I've taken a bit of time, I've chosen, veg that would be really nice, but really you could have any veg at all with this. I personally don't like peppers at all, but I can even acknowledge that they would be lovely in this and add a nice pop of red or something like that. If it's a midday meal for the family, you could just open a bag of ready stir-fry veg from the supermarket. So it really is up to you how fancy or otherwise you make this dinner. So it's really straightforward. These noodles are amazing. I love them. And they go down really well with the kids. You just pop as many as you want in there. They come in kind of 5, I suppose, blocks. And the amount of cooking here, stand back. You literally boil the kettle and pour on the water. Michelin chef stuff, or what? And that's it. That's literally all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to leave that while the noodles soak up the water. And all you're going to have to do with those at the end is drain them, and then they're ready to use. So that's that done. So let's get the veg going. So I've had this pan heating slightly. I'm going to pop the fry light in. And as you're probably beginning to tell, I'm all about the cheap and cheerful shortcuts. So I could, of course, spend ages with chilies and garlic and ginger, but somebody else has done it for me, which was very nice of them. I think these are brilliant. Because they are in brine or vinegar, there's absolutely no problem whatsoever using as much as you want of these without worrying that you're making any kind of an unhealthy choice. And it also means you don't need to measure them at all, just go by taste. So I'll pop a bit of garlic into the heat. I'll go with a bit of ginger. And then obviously everybody likes different amounts of spice. and I have learned the hard way that this packs a real punch. So I'm not going to go mad on it, but that would be for you to decide. So let's get the veg in. I need to turn this heat up a bit. So we've started getting some nice smells from the garlic and ginger and chilli. I'm going to fire in the carrots first, as they might take a little bit longer to cook. And then I've left a lot of the baby corn whole, but the bigger pieces I've just halved, just so we get a nice even cooking time on it all. And I realised I've ended up with a fairly patriotic vegetable situation. So I've added a bit of water, which is why we're getting a lot of steam. I have left most of the smaller corns whole. I've halved the bigger ones, and I'm just going to throw it all in and stir it up, get all those flavours mixed. I've also got a tin of bamboo shoots here, and again, we know that we can have as many as we want of these. You could, if you particularly love them, you could put in 2 tins. It really wouldn't matter. I've just drained these and I'm popping them straight in. There's lots of other, you could add bean sprouts. That's the oven, that'll be the salmon nearly done. You could have bean sprouts, you could add, goodness me, what else could you add? Well, I already said peppers, broccoli would be lovely. Really, whatever is in season, whatever your family likes, whatever you want to show off to with your guests. So, I'll just leave this cooking down. I'm going to drain the noodles and see how the salmon is getting on before I sort out, turn the marinade into the sauce. Got the marinade here that the salmon was in earlier, and I'm just going to pop that back into the saucepan we used earlier. And I'm going to make it more of a sauce than a marinade. So I'm going to thicken it up by using a little bit of corn flour. So I'm just going to make a bit of a paste to stop the corn flour from just going lumpy in the marinade. So just pop that in there, stir it round, and as that sauce is beginning to heat up, I said paste, it's a little bit runnier than it might have needed to be, but you get the idea. And we'll pop that in there, and I'm just going to whisk that. It'll start to thicken up the marinade, and it'll be a lovely sauce with the veg and the salmon and the noodles. So we've got everything ready now. The salmon is cooked, the vegetables cooked, the sauce is thickened up beautifully, and we have drained the rice noodles, so we're ready to plate up and see the finished product. So I'm going to pop some rice noodles on. The good news is that because it's a free food, we don't have to be weighing or measuring anything. We're just going to pile as much on as we like. Bearing in mind we've got several other courses to go, so I'm not going to go mad. And then we have got some vegetables, lovely splash of colour on the plate, making it all really, really pretty. And then I'm going to go for a piece of salmon. So here we are. Pop that just there between the veg and the noodles. And then I'm going to pour on a little bit of sauce. You probably want to put a little bit of sauce on each plate, and then maybe pop the rest in the jug for anybody who wants a little bit extra. So I'll just pop that right there on the end of the salmon. And there you have it, citrus salmon with rice noodles and stir-fried vegetables.